Hello my dear students, how are you all? My dear students, today we are going to study about alkali metals, which are very important elements of the periodic table, and to know the chemistry of so many topics of ionic compounds and complexes, we need proper and adequate knowledge of alkali metals. So today's lecture will be helpful in understanding not only about alkali metals, then their physical properties will also be discussed with their chemical properties. Okay, so let us begin with their position. Now, very first, they must be introduced by with the help of their position in the periodic table. As we see, they are located or placed in the extreme left side of the periodic table. And when we see the group number, yes, they are group 1A elements. And what elements are there? These are lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium and francium. So we see how they can be defined. The alkali metals are the elements of group 1A of the periodic table, and here I have mentioned them. And why they were called as alkali? Because whenever they react with water, they form alkalis, and alkalis are very important class of compound which are capable of neutralizing acids. This is their chemical property. So we begin with the occurrence, where they are found in the earth crust. You know, the elements are distributed all over the earth crust and oceans, in our bodies, everywhere elements are found. And when we need to know where alkali metals are found, they are always present in their compounds. They are never found free like noble gases, because they are very reactive. That's why the alkali metals are always present in their combined state or in their compounds. And we see the sodium is the most abundant among them. Then potassium, lithium, rubidium and cesium. And you know what? Francium is the alkali metal which is radioactive. Yes, it's very different from other elements because of its radioactive nature, and that is why they are found very rare. Now we will study their physical properties one by one. First, very surprising property, that alkali metals are soft, so soft so they can be cut easily a knife. You see, this picture is showing as if someone is making slices of butter. Yes, this is not butter, this is alkali metal, and this is sodium. And you know what? When they are freshly cut, they show shiny lusters. Their surface is very shiny, which rapidly tarnishes when it is exposed in air. The next is, they have relatively lower melting and boiling points. Relatively lower means when they are compared with other metals such as copper, gold, silver, tin. So the alkali metals have got lower melting and boiling points as compared to them, and they have also low densities. You see, the density of lithium, sodium and potassium is less than that of water. That is why they float in water, because they have low density than water. Now we see how they are defined chemically, because their chemical nature will be experienced and observed and will be asked in their chemical reactions. So the very first and fundamental property of alkali metals, for which they are placed in group 1, is they contribute the same valence shell configuration. You see the configuration of lithium here, sodium, potassium. 3 elements are shown here. And all the time you must notice this, that all of the alkali metals have 1 electrons in the outermost shell or in their valence shell. So chemically, they all are having just 1 electron in their valence shell, and this is the reason they make their cations, by losing that outermost electron. So the next is, now there is a question, do all alkali metals have the same chemical reactivity? As we discussed that all of them have 1 electron in their valence shell, but when we see their chemical reactivity, they are not same. Lithium is the least reactive, which is placed at the top of the group, but we see the most reactive element is cesium, which is the lowest in the group. So how come their reactivity is affected by their sizes? As we see, the size is getting larger, the reactivity is also increasing. So maybe their larger size is supporting them to react efficiently. Yes, because whenever metal react, it loses its outermost electron, you see. So the loss of electron becomes very easier in case of francium and cesium, because that least attracted electron from the nucleus is easily lost by providing very low amount of energy, that's ionization energy. So the low ionization energy of the larger size metallic atom helps is to knock out it easily. That is why the larger size alkali metal is higher in reactivity. And the possible answers which you can use as evidence to support your answer is the increase in atomic size, and the shielding effect is also increasing. Shielding effect means the repulsive forces among electrons in different shells reduces the force of attraction of this nucleus on this outermost electron, because all over electrons are distributed and these electrons have got same negative charge on them, so they start repelling one another, and this repulsion decreases the force of attraction of the nucleus on this outermost electron. So a larger size atom favors the loss of electron due to its larger size, low ionization energy and greater shielding effect. Now the next is, they are so reactive that they quickly react with atmospheric water. That is why they are stored in oil. And when we see the reaction with water, the reaction of lithium is, it takes place quickly, but when we see the sodium reacts with water, you see the flame is there because reaction is quite violent. And in case of potassium, the reactivity of potassium is greater than sodium and as compared to lithium, so it reacts violently, explosively with water. And chemically, when they react with water, they form their hydroxides. Lithium form lithium hydroxide, sodium forms sodium hydroxide, and potassium forms potassium hydroxide with hydrogen gas. So this is what you will be needed to write your answer by means of chemical reactions. So you learn these equations. And the next is, when they react, when they behave, they also become very powerful reducing agents. So first we will understand what chemical is called as a reducing agent. You see, the nature of alkali metal is to lose electron and forming its cation. So when the sodium atom loses one electron, it is said to be oxidized, and these lost electrons are gained by the other atom, which becomes the reason for their reduction. So the low ionization potential of alkali metals and the smallest nuclear charge help them to lose their electron easily to reduce the other. And the simplest answer for this question is, the alkali metals lose their electrons to reduce the other and to oxidize themselves. That's why they are called as reducing agents. As they form ions, the stable ions, by losing their electrons, they form ionic compounds such as carbonates, nitrates and sulfates, and their formula can be written using criss-cross rule, that is sodium carbonate means NaCO3. When we write the valencies, sodium is +1 and carbonate is -2. Yes, by multiplying their valencies we can write the formula is Na2CO3. Similarly, you can write the formulas for nitrates and sulfates. Now, this video is the detailed explanation of the introduction of alkali metals, their chemical reactivity, the trend of properties in a group, and you sum up all the points to answer the chapter exercise and your topical past paper questions. Meanwhile, I'll be making another video to help you. You just learn this topic by heart with full command, which is given in the textbook and your topical past paper. I wish you a very good luck for your exams. May God bless you. Thank you.